Hello, hello, good morning. So I'm hoping that you can see my slide okay. There we go. I'm really excited to join you this morning, and I'm hoping that all is well and that everybody can hear me okay. As a matter of fact, before I get into this presentation that I have for you today, I think I'm going to check it out and make sure that you can hear me. Um, I had some challenges the last couple of days. If you tried to watch my videos in the last couple of days in this series of Meditate to Create, you may have noticed that I had a little bit of trouble. So I believe, great. I can hear myself on Facebook through my phone. And so I know you can hear me. So I don't know who will be joining me today. I totally did this impromptu. And so I didn't expect a lot of people to really jump on live with me. But that's okay, because that's the wonderful part of the Facebook world and the internet, is that you can come on and check out what I have for you for free, easily, anytime that you want to. So lately I've been talking about meditate to create and what that means, what it looks like, especially for the individuals that are new to meditation. What does that mean to incorporate it into your business? And what does that look like for new entrepreneurs? What does it look like for people that have had a business and have not found their groove in their business? It took me a couple of years to get in line with what my niche was meant to be. And that may be very true for you. You also may be someone that found a business, a successful business, and have been running a successful business, but you are not happy with what you're doing today. You're generating an income that you're very happy with, but your business has not brought you the joy and fulfillment that you thought it would bring you. So today's video is about a section of a book written by Vadim Zeland. He has written a book called, actually it was quite a few years ago. It was in, let's see, I can't see it right away when it was written, but it's called Transurfing in 78 Days, a Practical Course to Creating Your Own Reality. And one of the things that Vadim talks about in his book is receiver versus translator. Now, I want to step back a little bit before I get into this and just say, if you're new to my channel, my name is Princella Stringer. I am an empowerment coach for female entrepreneurs. And today I help women tap into their niche, find their dream niche. I believe when you find your dream niche, you find your dream client, and then you're discovering your dream goal, the things that you've always desired. So this is hugely important to me to share everything that I know about being able to do this and incorporate this into your life. And one of the ways that I've been able to do this in my life is through meditation. And that in itself was a journey, learning what meditation looked like for me and what worked for me. There are so many different forms of meditation and manifestation, visualization, all of those things. There are so many techniques and strategies out there. And if you're interested in learning more about starting in meditation, I invite you to check my video for day 1, where I teach you the very basics of breathing and centering in that. So again, my name is Princella Stringer. If you're new to me, I'd love for you to leave a little note here to let me know that you happen to come across this video, and let me know what you think of it. So day 1, we did breathing and centering and anchoring exercise, meditation exercise. And day 2, We talked about becoming your truest self. We talked about the mirror principle, and those two pieces I think are really important to really understanding and taking this information I have for you today to the next level. So I invite you to take a look at those videos from day 1 and day 2. I also have them on my YouTube channel in a playlist. I made it super easy to be able to access it and find it there. All right, so now we are on to day 3. I am so excited about this because Vadim Zeland has put this information so eloquently in his book in a way that's really understandable and, oh my gosh, so inspiring. So when we look at the concepts of receiver or translator, I want to describe these two categories for you. So Vadim says that people can be divided into 2 categories. Okay, so either you're a receiver or you're a translator. What does that mean? Does anybody know what that means, to be either a receiver or a translator? I'd also love to know if you're aware of this book. Do you have it? Are you reading it now? Have you heard of Vadim? I'd love to know what you think about his practices and things like that. Let me know in the comments if you are a reader of his work, practicer of his work. Okay, so as a receiver, which most people are receivers, and when I tell you about it, you'll see what I mean here. They only take the outer information and take that as truth. They take someone else's reality and transfer it and adapt it into their own life as truth and the way it's to be. So now many of you may be thinking, I don't do that. That's not my way. But on a subconscious level, many of us do that. Why? Because we have become adapted to learning that way. As a matter of fact, when you create your own business, one of the trick tips is to take a look at another person who is successful in your business and trying to emulate what they do. Some people flat out copy what they do, which is totally unethical and immoral. But so how do you see this in your own life today as a receiver? There are very few creators and translators in the world. So here's the advantage that we have. I mean, today we do have many, many people coming into the online space creating their businesses, but most of them are, as I said, copying someone else's model and not taking the time to recognize what role they play as a translator. So today you have the advantage that most people don't have, which is you can create your own reality, your own separate reality, as Vadim puts in his book. And so that's what I want to talk about today and invite you to consider how you, what's the highest category, what type are you, a receiver or a translator? As a translator, you are creating your own film, so to speak. You are creating your own path. You are taking information and translating it to who you are, what you've learned, your skills you've developed, and you're shooting your own film. Other people are watching you and receiving what you are doing. Right? So when we have our own business, our own small business, this is our goal, to really be a translator in that and really show up with who we are. So in order to be able to do this, to create your own film, you've got to kind of create your own mental images at this point. You know, if you're not there, if you're not quite a translator, you're going to create your own images in your mind about what that looks like until that reality comes to life in your life. So let's talk about that a little bit. How do we create this in our own life, and what do we do? So before we go there, I just want to mention that, you know, this really isn't your fault if you've fallen into a receiver mode. There's really nothing wrong with, at some point in your life, being a receiver. I mean, you're still forming and growing and learning. So all of us at some point are going to start off as receivers until we've come to develop the confidence to really create our own, images and project our own reality into our own life. We are all born into circumstances in which others carry their own baggage. And no matter what the history is of your life, either you come from a wealthy, prosperous, business-minded family, or you come from poverty, the family comes with their own baggage. Eventually, you come to realize that you have a choice. But we're all made up of broken pieces passed down from generation to generation. We choose to make something beautiful, or we choose to keep them broken and fallen without any formation, without an image captured, without playing the role of our life where we can really pull those broken pieces together and create something with those pieces. This is why I love this picture of the mosaic, because no matter what you come up with in a mosaic, no matter those broken pieces, when you put them together and shape them and create something with them, it always comes out so beautiful, so beautiful. And this is life. We have all these broken pieces, we pull them together to really create something beautiful. So what does that look like for you? You know, what is your story today? What is your story today? Are you content and happy with the outcome of your story, or do you have some soul searching to do, some inner work to begin shooting your own film, making your own thing happen in your life? So I'm going to assume that because you're watching this, your desire is to be shooting your own film, as Vadim says. In shooting your own film, I want to ask you, what does it look like? What do you imagine your own movie playing in your own life looks like? In the beginning stages, the reason I'm wording it this way is because in the beginning stages, when you're still a receiver, you've got to learn how to create the images in your mind so that you know what the film will look like, and then get to a place of being able to live this out and adapt it into your own life. And that is the full intention of this whole Meditate to Create program. So I want to ask you, let's create a picture of what this film looks like that you would love to have come to life for you. What do you look like? Do you look any different than you do today? What are you wearing? What power suits do you have? What power pants, power skirt, power dress do you have that really makes you feel fabulous? What are you wearing that makes you feel strong and confident? Is your makeup done? Is your hair done? You may be a man watching this, so you may not wear makeup, but are you shaven? Are you clean cut? Are you casual? Good morning, Aunt Dee. So my aunt is popped on this morning, and so I'm excited she popped on. But we're talking about how do you create your own reality by creating images to shoot your own film in your life and to incorporate this into your life. So right now we're imagining, what does it look like? What does your film look like? How are you standing? What is your posture? What are you saying? How does your voice project? Do you have a small voice now and you want to use your voice stronger? Do you use passive words and have a passive voice, and you want to become more assertive and direct? What does it look like for you? Or are you comfortable with your voice? You just want to be able to write. Maybe you're a writer. Maybe you're a creator of video. Whatever it is that you do, what does it look like? And who will see it? Who will you project it out to? So it's really important to create this vision of what it looks like, and most importantly, what you look like in that process. What do you look like in your own film? And how does it make you feel right now thinking about what you look like in your own film? How does that feel? Imagine that you're wearing your power suit, you're wearing your strong color. How does that feel? I know when I think about it, instantly my posture sits up, my neck feels strong, my back feels strong. I'm seeing the image in my mind, and I'm just exuding and feeling power and confidence. So that's the goal of this piece right here, and in creating images to shoot your own film. So in shooting your own film, in the beginning, you're creating images of what you desire it to be and what you want it to be. Now, as a life coach, what we do is we take that information and we say, okay, this is what you want, but how do you feel about it? Are you able to, you know, how do you feel when you think about writing that first blog? Do you get a feeling of butterflies, or do you get a feeling of excitement? How do you feel about, you know, we'll just use this as an example, continue on the thread with using the blog as an example. How would you feel thinking about posting your first blog, shooting out into cyberspace? What does that feel like? Does it make you feel excited or nervous or confident or scared, worried? So when we have feelings that are negative and don't help us to feel the strongest we can feel, that's where a life coach can come in and really help with walking through that journey with you. This is something that you can do on your own also. And that's the reason I'm putting this video series together. You may be like me, though. There was only so long that I can do this on my own. We can only self-coach for a certain amount of time, and then we'll get to a certain level where you need to have someone walking alongside with you. That could be a therapist, that could be a life coach, that could be your spouse, that could be your best friend, provided that there are positive reinforcers in your life. That it could be those individuals that can walk you through this. So where do you feel, how do you feel in the spectrum of creating and shooting your own film? What it looks like, what you look like, what it looks like to execute your plan in your film. So this is all about growing and strengthening the muscle of truly believing in yourself. Truly believing in yourself. When you're going through these exercises of identifying what doesn't feel right, you've got to be honest with yourself. There is no pushing through the feelings here. There is no pretending that feeling doesn't exist. There is no sugarcoating. There's no Band-Aid for this part of shooting your own film. It will not work if you take a Band-Aid approach, if you cover it up, if you hide behind your makeup, if you hide behind the camera. It does not work that way. When you are ready to face the things that are holding you back from wholeheartedly believing in yourself, this is when true transformation happens. For me, that was like a 3-4 year journey from the time of recognizing I had some things to work on to where I am today of believing in myself. That was a journey. It was not a flip of the switch moment. I had this realization of my faith and what God says about me, what God says about you. This is what's ignited and inspired the path that I'm on right now, that the God or the universe or whatever you believe, whatever your higher power is, your higher power has a plan for you that is much grander than you can ever imagine. And as you get closer to recognizing and believing that the universe has a plan for you, the scarier it might be, but also the stronger your intention is to get closer and closer to understanding what that is for you. The first step is believing in yourself. So what are the things that come up for you where you have a lack of belief in your ability to execute? What are the things that come up for you? So this takes some time to create, and one of the ways that I started creating this for my life is starting to look at what I valued. What's important to me? As a life coach, and these resources are easy to find online, but there are exercises that you can do to figure out what you value. When you're looking at what you value, it goes much deeper than I value family, I value, it could be money, it could be relationships, it could be whatever it is for you and what you value. It goes deeper than the words that I just threw out at you. It goes deeper than that. It's for instance, if relationships is on your list of what you value, you're taking that a level deeper and saying, I value being integrity in all of my relationships. I value strong, considerate communication with my spouse. You're looking deeper at the umbrella category of relationships. You want to go take it a few notches down to really identify what you value. I do have an exercise that can get you started on that, and then you can take it down and drill it down a little bit deeper if you're interested in that. I do have that for you. It's something that I like to do with all of my clients. So I hope that's clear. As a matter of fact, as you're listening to this, I'd love for you to write down or type in some things that just pop up in your mind right now. What are the umbrella things that you value right now? And we can even, if you're on, I can hop back on later and probe you a little bit so that you can go a little bit deeper in your values and what's important to you. But for now, let's go ahead and go to the next slide here. Money, money, money. So why do I bring this up? Because this is like one of the things that either you fear for whatever reason, you have your own judgments over money, and so you're not living the life to help you produce more money in your life. And it's a huge stronghold that gets in the way of being successful in business. So as you know, I work with female entrepreneurs, helping them identify their niche. So we can work on the film that you want to have played out in your life. We can work on your belief around that. We can work on how you feel and if you can be yourself in any circumstance, any situation. All of these things we can work on. But if you are hung up in any way, shape, or form in how you value money and what capacity you value money, this is going to be a huge hang up in your process. So what are the stories that you have around money and connecting with that. What beliefs did you develop at a young age when you were a child? So I'm not going to get into this too much today, but I felt it was important enough to really have it out there in this slide because it is a huge hang up for many people in where their value is with money. If you want to talk about that further, please let me know in the chat, and I can even do another video specifically on that if you'd like. So just keep in mind, what is your story around money? All right, so I'm going to conclude this video by just telling you that the most important thing, if you want to take meditation to create seriously in your life, you've got to be able to drill back and look at what's happened in the past, where you came from, how this vision and this film that you want to create into your life, where did this come from? How did it come to be so important to you? So when we look at our history, we look at how you feel about creating this film and executing it into your life, and we look at how you feel about executing it. We're connecting the dots to why you have this dream goal in mind. So many people that are trying to create their niche, they have some confusion around which direction or which avenue they should focus on. Many times it's because we're distracted by all the externals. So here in this video, we're talking about drilling back, peeling back the layers of all the externals that interfere with you really creating and manifesting what's to happen in your life, and peeling back and looking at who we are individually and how did we come to be who we are today. So a thing that I want to mention here also is the next step, which we will talk about tomorrow, is gratitude. The gratitude that we feel about our history and our story and where we are today, how we came to be where we are today. So tomorrow we will talk about gratitude for your once upon a time story. And after this video, I want to invite you to take some time to just journal on a couple of, on some of these elements here. And so the first thing I think is really important to journal on is what were the pieces that were passed down from generation to generation. You know, actually first I want to step back. We want to decide, are we going to continue to be a receiver, or are we going to strengthen our ability to be a translator and create? Then we're going to look at our broken pieces that were passed down from generation to generation, and just know that they're present. They're a part of our life. They're, you know, if you're stuck in, this is really important to note this right now, if you are stuck in things that happened in the past, maybe you have trouble going back and thinking about the things from the past. Maybe it brings you anxiety. Maybe it just disrupts your day when you think about the past. I'd like you to consider visiting a therapist or a counselor. You know, this is really important to have that clinical support in that, if it is something that you are stuck in. Sometimes it just takes one conversation of acknowledging and having someone walk you through acknowledging your past, and you're good. Sometimes it takes a few sessions to get there. Sometimes it's a continual thing. So know where you are in that and how you feel about that, and recognize if you need some guidance in that. Now, if you're someone that knows it's there and you know you're still grappling with some feelings, but you are able to move forward, that's where a life coach could likely assist you in this. If you know, overall you feel pretty good, but it still bothers you a little bit, it stings a little bit, and you want to get over it, but but it's not exactly holding you back to the 10th degree where it produces anxiety or depression, then that's where a life coach can really help. If it produces anxiety, depression, withdrawal, that's when you need to seek clinical assistance. You know, I got to tell you, I mean, we're at some point, at some level, that's the healthiest thing to do. And what you do with that and how long you need that support is completely up to you. And own that. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with seeking assistance with that. And in my own personal journey, I've done that as well. I've had a beautiful, wonderful childhood, loving family, but I still had some things I was hung up on. So just know that that's what that is available to you. So, and then we're going to look at what is your story? What is your story in that? How did you come to having a desire to even becoming a translator? You know, before today, you may not have recognized yourself as a receiver or a translator, but in thinking about what a translator is, if you're watching this video, you want to strengthen your translator abilities and become more of a creator. I know it. I'm positive of that. So what is your story? What happened in your past that brought you to the discovery you've had with what you will create, what you want to emulate and translate into the world, what you want to be a model of in the world and help people, help others with? So writing out your story. As you're writing out your story, you're thinking about what is holding me back. So I use the example of the blog. How do you feel writing a blog? How do you feel with gathering the content and the information to write the blog? How do you feel finishing a blog? How do you feel about posting a blog into cyberspace? How do you feel about the first time someone reads your blog? If any of these bring up any triggers or any butterflies or any fears, any thoughts of, oh, whoa, no, I can't do that, then that's the thing that you need to work on to build the muscle of believing in yourself. And as I said, that process for me took like nearly 3 years, 3 to 4 years, a little over 3 years to get to that place for myself. And then I feel like what you value is like the pretty bow on the top. You know, so when you have values, when you're able to identify your values and what you want in that parameter, in those boundaries, you're able to establish the boundaries. And this means that you're getting to a really healthy place of being able to look at your journey, look at your past, look at who you are, and identify boundaries and know what you value and what's important to you. So jotting that down. Again, if you need some assistance in that process, I do have some tools and resources for you there. And then how do you feel about money, money, money? Are you ready to make some money? Are you ready to translate all this information about yourself into something that you can create to build your small business? Are you in a business right now that's making money, generating an income, but you feel stuck because now it's paying on your bills, but you're not happy? You're not happy in that business. If that is you, then I would love to hear from you and find out where you're at in that journey of working through those emotions. So here we're at the last video here, and I just want to thank you so much for joining me. Again, this video will be posted in YouTube, where it will be on a playlist later today or tomorrow morning. And if you missed any of the first videos, watching those first 2 videos and then coming to this one will be really valuable, and will connect all the dots and these pieces of what I'm putting together for you. Also on that note, if you are interested in getting the full program, each of these topics that I talk about on a daily basis have other options of videos to look at. So for instance, the meditation section, I have the breathing exercise, and then I have another technique that has to do with gratitude, which is really important to this process. And then exercises that also come with the full program. So you have access to more videos and exercises where I have everything written out and laid out for you with a full description of what we talk about in these videos. So if you're interested in that, all you have to do is go to PS Limitless Woman, and I'll type that in the chat later, pslimitlesswoman.com/meditate to create. And you can access the form that you need to fill out so that I can give you access to the full program. That is only $25. We've got 5 days of learning how to meditate to create in January. That price will go up, of course. So, but I really want to offer that right now because I feel like this is the optimal time to like take a look at this so that in 2020, you're starting off the year strong with what you will be creating and working on, or transitioning into. If you already have a thriving business that's making you money, how can you start forming the thing that you love to do and learn to create your income with something that you love to do? Okay, so I hope this was helpful. That's all I have for you right now, but I'd love to hear some comments in the chat, and let me know what you think. Let me know if there's something in here that you'd like to hear more about, something you want me to go deeper in a different video. I have other videos on YouTube where I'll be having these discussions in a more casual way also, so check those videos out and make sure you subscribe and click the little bell that's in YouTube so that you can see more videos as they come out. But thank you so much for joining me here on my page, and I look forward to chatting with you, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.